Welcome to the Get Smart with Money podcast. I'm your host, Dana Hernandez, financial planner and author of Get Smart with Money. Break free from the struggle, build wealth on your terms, and rewrite your money story. Here we talk about money, entrepreneurship, growth, and resilience, because financial freedom is about more than just numbers. Each week, you'll get practical strategies, inspiring stories, and the motivation you need to stress less about money and create more freedom in your life. Let's get smart with money together.
So,
yeah,
specifically that one.
I think that's more of a communication issue, though, right? And I think
there was a lot of underlying things wrong.
Yeah,
it's just, it's not the first time I've seen that happen in a relationship either. So I'm like, I always make an effort, and I've never had anybody who didn't make some sort of an effort. So I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky in that way. Or I don't know.
Maybe.
So I wanted to ask you about your non-negotiables. Do you have any non-negotiables that you do every day, or like maybe something a week?
There's a bunch of non-negotiables for me. My number one non-negotiable is gratitude. Absolutely non-negotiable. And if someone doesn't have a gratitude practice, I'll briefly share mine, because maybe it might be something you can implement into your lives. And I wake up in the morning, before I even open my eyes, I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. And most people, when you say that, they'll say something like, I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the people in my life that I love, that love me. And that's really great. But a gratitude practice really blows up and becomes like on fire when you actually feel the gratitude, when you feel it in every cell of your being. And so let's say, okay, I'm grateful for my health. Well, think about not being able to breathe. Think about being on a ventilator. Think about gasping. And then you get like, I almost get to the point of tears thinking that, oh my God, what would it be like if I couldn't breathe, right? And then in the next moment, I realize I don't have to think that way, because I can breathe. And there is a flood of emotion. And that emotion is gratitude. And when we feel gratitude on a cellular level, we set ourselves up for more situations and experiences to be grateful for. And then the other thing that's a non-negotiable is I don't just start my day with positivity. As a mindset coach, I set myself up for the most positive mindset in the morning. And then at night, I don't know if you do this, Dana, but I used to lay in bed and I would rehash the day. And I would think of all the things that would go wrong, right? Like, that call went sideways, or I forgot to send that email, or I didn't have milk for the cookies with, whatever. I would rehash that conversation that just didn't go well. I would rehash everything. Do you do that?
Sometimes, maybe.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Well, I found myself doing it more often than not. And so I decided years ago that I was not going to end my day like that. Because what happens is there's a lot of research that shows that what we think about right before we go to bed carries with us as we go to different brain waves throughout the night. And we start our day with that brain wave, that negativity, so to speak. So every night when I go to sleep, just before I'm about ready to go drift off to sleep, I think of one thing that went right. And some days, Dana, it is not easy, right? Some days it's a shit show and everything went wrong, and, the car broke down, and the dinner burned, and you were late, and you have a spot on your outfit, and blah, all the things that went wrong. And I stop myself and I go on a scavenger hunt looking for one thing that went right. And some days, in some seasons, when things are really crummy, the only thing that went right for me was the fact that I woke up and got out of bed that day. Mm-hmm. And so setting ourselves up for a positive day in the morning, and then right before we go to bed, searching for something that went right during that day, just one thing, will set us up for more positivity the following day.
Yeah.
And that is a non-negotiable, no matter where I am or how tired I am. That is something that I do every day religiously.
Cool. Okay. Can't say that I always lay there and think about all the things that went wrong. Normally I'm just like, all right, well, that's what happened at work today, whatever. Like, because sometimes if I do think about stuff like that, sometimes I end up having a dream about it. So that's not fun. And then that's never fun. Normally before I go to bed, I think most nights now I listen to some sort of like meditation or some sort of like manifesting type of thing, or I always want to listen to something super positive before I go to sleep. And it just kind of helps me go to sleep now. I almost can't really fall asleep without listening to something unless I'm super tired, but it's just nice and relaxing to hear something for like maybe 30 minutes most.
Yeah. So. And it sets you up for a really nice positive day in the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So that's almost a non-negotiable for me to do that. Almost there. Also depends if I go to bed by myself.
Yep.
So, which is most of the time because I want to try and get up earlier. So, yeah, I'm still working on my non-negotiables because my life is kind of all over the place and my new work schedule is all over. So, just trying to get there with that. But I do have a really good work-life balance, which definitely is a non-negotiable. I do not work Tuesdays, Wednesdays, that's for sure. And now I have Mondays off because we're not open on Mondays. So perfect. So I work 4 days and I'm off 3 days.
That's nice.
Yeah. So gives me a lot of time to do this stuff, which is much more fun and more positive and reaching more people. I make $0 with this, but it's still fun and I like it taking up a lot of my time. So
yeah, and it's having a positive impact on people's lives. So even though you might not be making money from it, I would hope that I know that it lights you up, or you wouldn't be doing it still, right? It still gives you some joy. And there's something to be said about that. You can't even put a dollar amount on joy or happiness.
Yeah. And it is hard sometimes to keep doing this. I thought about quitting a couple times, but I'm like, I started this for a reason. I was a very quick decision maker about this, and I feel like I need to do something with this. So I'm just trying to stay consistent, and I'm meeting new friends with this. So it's really cool. I've always wanted to know people from all over the world, and now I'm checking that box off.
Well, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's awesome that you get to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah.
The world is shrinking as far as that goes.
Kind of. Yeah. Even though we have Zoom now, it's different.
Yeah, but you're connecting with people that this is way before your time, but before the internet, there would be no way for you to even meet somebody in India or Japan or Germany, right?
Yeah.
And so now unless you actually went there, which costs a lot of money. So now you have the ability at your fingertips to connect with people and all over the planet on a regular basis and do so pretty much for free. And I think that is first of all, it's mind blowing. And second of all, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I really do like that part about this. That was a really great talk. You brought some things to my attention with the should and switching my language up a little more because I need to see some changes here around me. And I've been trying to change my language, but I didn't know where else to go with that. So you just help me.
I invite you to join my sister circle. It's on Facebook. It's free. And I pour into that community. I'm also in the process of doing some group coaching and a couple of other things. And so you might see some benefit in there and be able to take advantage of some of the things that I offer because I'm a big advocate on on watching our words. Our words are powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And when we become aware of what the words that we're actually saying, it can totally and completely change our lives.
Yeah. When I was little, the first time I ever heard hate is a strong word, at first I was like, what? Like, I don't get it. It's just a word. But then I got older and started really understanding what that means. So yeah, our words are very strong.
Yeah. And I say to someone recently that once they're heard, they can't be unheard. Right. Unlike when you hurt yourself physically, like you fall and you break a leg, it can be repaired, right? It can mend to the point where you wouldn't even remember having broken it. It could be stronger than it was before you hurt it. But when somebody says something to you, it can never be taken back. And so many of us carry that forward, and that hurt and that belief, which many times isn't even true, bring it forward and kind of get choked up and create and help. And we create the life around that from the things that people have said. And so words are incredibly important, both good and bad. And realizing that some of the things that have been said, to me, and it has created the person that I am, right? Because the way I reacted, the meaning that I gave to those words, and then now being aware of them and then being able to do the work to go back and rewrite the story around those words is liberating, right? When we're able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. My exes have said some pretty nasty things to me in the past, and I definitely feel healed at this point from what they said, and just realizing that they were in a worse spot than I was. So
yep. When we can put up a shield and know that it not absorb that energy. We're talking about energy, not absorb the energy that's being thrown at us.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you don't absorb it, you still hear it, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that can be unheard.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get off of here, talk about your book a little bit. What is it called?
It's on the wall behind me. It's called Words of Wisdom, What You Need to Know on the Road of Your Life's Journey. It's available on Amazon, and it's not like your average book. I call it a picture book for adults. In this day and age, number one, we have such short attention spans. And number two, this is something that isn't read from front to back. It is a transformational, inspirational, motivational book because each page has a picture. It's very short, very few words. As a matter of fact, when I gave my mom a copy, she ended up putting it in her powder room, in her bathroom. And I asked her, why do you keep it in your bathroom? And she said, well, because I've got a captive audience there. So it's on Amazon. It's great for people going through a life's transition, whether that's, you mentioned friends that are separated, divorced, widowed, even empty nest, retirement, the death of a loved one. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a difficult, like what most people would be considering a bad time. It could just be a difficult time. Like when I actually wrote it, funny story, I actually wrote it for my daughters. When my oldest was getting ready to leave the family home and go off to college about a year before, I woke up with a nightmare. And it was all around the fact, what happens if I die tomorrow? There's nothing to share this wisdom that I want to share with my daughter, right? As she's getting older and going through life. And so for a year, I wrote down things that I would want to tell and make sure that she knew. And I just thought I was going to put it together, staple it, print it out, staple it, and give it to her. But I ended up making it into a book, and it was just her book. I made a book for her and her sister, and for years. And then when I got into public speaking, I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago, I pulled that book out and was like, oh my gosh, I can edit it, take out a couple of things, and it's the perfect book for people who are going, leaving to go off to school. So any kind of life transition, you can open it up to any page and get some inspiration when you're having a down day or a down moment. And so, yes, it's on Amazon. So thanks for asking.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And where can people find you?
I am on all socials, you guys. I'm excited to say that I am now on Facebook. I have a page on the Amy Fuentes, because goodness knows there's more than one of me, but I am the one and only. So the Amy Fuentes on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. I think I'm just Amy Fuentes. I may only be Amy Fuentes on TikTok. I just started TikTok, you guys. That is a trip and a half. I'm also on YouTube, LinkedIn. Are those all the platforms? I think those are all the platforms. So you can find me anywhere, whatever your platform of preference is. I'm there, and I love connecting with people. So please reach out and connect with me. I would love that.
Awesome. Yes, we'll do.
I have one more thing.
Oh.
As a freebie for any of the people that are listening, if you want to get inspired and uplifted once a week, I do have a free digital newsletter that I put out once a week, and it's really cool because it's a video. And so it's short, it's sweet, it's not real lengthy. It's kind of like my book, and it comes into your inbox every Wednesday. So if you're interested in signing up for my free newsletter, I will give you that link, Dana, and you can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, all of that will be linked in the show notes. Sounds really good. And I hope everyone learned a lot or just enjoyed that conversation, because I did. I learned some stuff. So thank you. Hang on for a second, but yeah, we can sign off. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. And thank you, Amy.
Oh, thank you.
Please like, review, share, and subscribe to this podcast, and follow us on Instagram at GetSmartWMoney Podcast, as well as checking out our website at GetSmartWithMoneyPodcast.com.